So Pam unfortunately was not able to join us. They're preparing for a DOE trip coming down federal government next week. So wanted to briefly mention what the State Energy Conservation Office is doing, and then also talk about how we became very interested in green workforce development, specifically and what that means to us at TEAC. So about SECO, they're really about maximizing energy efficiency while protecting the environment. They focus on public sector energy and water efficiency. They don't do R&D funding. They're not interested in doing a lot of research to try to determine where the next, greatest, and latest thing. They are interested in implementation, education, and outreach. They have a lot of state level conduits through some funding that came down from DOE, and they are very interested in demonstration and deployments. So, next slide, please. So, one thing that is pretty interesting, if you've never been to it, is the SECO website. And they're striving to be the single location where you can identify the resources that are available throughout the state of Texas, specifically around energy and energy efficiency. Their website here, pretty interesting. The concept looking at light as the cost of money, and then look at the ability to save money using a newer technology. So, conservation. The difference that there is in conservation or efficiency, to her, conservation, and to SECO, conservation is the change of behavior based on the attitude of do less or use less, whereas efficiency is the application of technologies and best practices that eliminate waste based on the attitude. So do the same or more with less. So this is kind of a common theme that we've had all day with our Lean Six Sigma earlier today and optimization. And then, moving forward, we want to make sure that we're creating a workforce that is very efficient, specifically in addressing these new business practices that we're finding in industry. Next slide. So the reason that TEAC became very interested in what SECO was doing is through an organization that they had that I believe was funded in 2008 and recently ran out of funding, but it was called TREC, and this is Texas Renewable Energy Education Consortium. It currently has 11 members. I don't believe all are represented here. I'll talk to her about that because the TEAC logo is missing. We joined the consortium shortly before it ended. But it does have different associates of applied sciences degrees, certificates of training, workforce training, technician training, online training, professional development, and public outreach. The great thing about the consortium is they had quarterly meetings that brought these different individuals from different community colleges. I believe that Amarillo College was one of the few four-year colleges on there as well. And so, Texas Tech and TEAC, as part of the Texas University system, were two of the D1 schools that actually had joined, looking at how do we take what's going on at a vocational level and roll it into four-year degrees and even masters and PhDs. And so Texas Tech was doing some really interesting things. Obviously because of the wind play up there and how that can play, they can influence that in terms of like a wind energy option for the law school students. So pretty interesting concept. So with that, we're very interested in continuing as the Growing Green Conference goes around the state of Texas on making sure that we look at what are the really interesting things that are happening at our institutes of higher education. And I think that we have found three here in the Northeast Texas region and the Dallas Metroplex to really talk about that. And so we had Jim Wylie from Northeast Texas Community College in Mount Pleasant, is that correct?
Yes, right.
And Mount Pleasant. And I can tell you, I got very excited. My undergrad is in animal science, and I found out they had the first ever net zero agricultural instruction facility. And we just got really excited. We wanted to be a part of that. We wanted to make sure that we were able to have Northeast Texas Community College here, pretty innovative in the things that they're doing. And so with that, we'll start and let Jim talk about some of the things that are going on in Northeast Texas Community College.
Thank you very much. I should just mention that many of the programs that have just been discussed here, we have taken advantage of, including training that I've received personally from some of these institutes here. And waiting for my slide, there we are. We are a small college. We're located in the midst of nowhere, between Mount Pleasant, Pittsburgh, and Dangerfield. We have about 300 and some acres there. Over 100 acres is devoted to the farm area. And what the college does is provide a 2-year degree, as well as many certificates in workforce, and we also have a very extensive continuing education program. And I'm involved in all 3 of these different areas, and so is the energy program at the college here. What you see here before you is the brand new agricultural complex. And I'm going to break it for a moment. First of all, this complex is a platinum with LEED certified building, which means that we're one of 4 in the state of Texas and one of 400 and some in the world. So it was kind of unexpected in one sense. I served on the Planning and Building Committee, and it happened somewhat by accident, I should say, in that we ended up with that platinum. We were going for a gold. And then all of a sudden, things started changing. Our statistics started coming out differently. We started cutting the size of the building down in order to devote more money in order to get the platinum certification on it. So it is a very, very different type of building. Now you'd say, well, why in the world do we do that? And the reason is kind of simple. Not so much for vanity as it was to demonstrate something in our area. If you know anything about the northeast part of Texas, you know we're very slow in accepting many things. And energy is one of them. And energy conservation. So we wanted to be an example to the community, a focus point in that area for the beginning of some really green initiatives. And as a result, we went ahead and put our funds and our effort into that. Okay, we also started a campus green program on there. And we did quite a bit in the energy saving. Of course, the complex you've just seen a picture of, which we'll talk more about, and some of its features a little later here, is the fact that we did almost everything we could do to save energy and to do every factor that we could think of that would save and prevent us from using any excessive energy. But what was interesting is that we also had some other construction coming on, and we used many of the things we learned from the lease development program to add to those buildings, even though we did not go in for LEED certification on them. And I think that's where the real growth of the green initiative in building construction will occur. You can go look at a LEED building, then go back and say, what can I implement fund-wise, and as well as what can I implement from the standpoint of practicality. I mean, we just could not go a LEED building on our brand new dorm, but we could actually put some of the energy saving conservation practices into it. We have a campus-wide conservation program going on. We're upgrading facilities and the lighting on the campus. Right now, if you would go into our parking lot, we're using only 25% of the amount of energy that we were previously using a year ago in lighting that parking lot. Every building on campus has had new lighting fixtures placed in it. We're using a fraction, somewhere around about 50% of the amount of energy to run our lighting. All the heating systems have been electronically wired in there so that they use less heat and air mixing is proper in the buildings. And every time a new building is put up, it's put up with the same energy conservation technique. The other thing we have is an energy awareness program. And let's see if I can get this to you. Oh, there we are. Little dot. This little poster that we put up is what we call green footprints. And every building has one of these posters put up. Instead of going around and putting up little signs on the lights, turn these lights off, we put these posters up because we wanted more than that to occur. Also, in my program, I was dealing with student transportation, and we wanted to initiate a bus program. But then we thought, this is not practical for people that live all over this large area that draws students from. So we initiated a carpooling system, and we encouraged that. So we put these posters out, and we initiated it, and the chemistry teacher there joined us, the biology department joined us, and we formed a consortium in partnership with all of these individuals and faculty to initiate a saving program for energy in there. We do use, have a very active Earth Day program. Again, we use posters, and we have projects going on by the students. For years, we were taking paper and recycling it. We were using the funds to actually initiate publicity for the energy saving on campus. Well, surprise, surprise, paper prices for us dropped to almost zero, and so it became a liability rather than an asset to us, and we had to stop doing that. We initiated a student transportation services. The local bus services that were in the area provided by the region government agencies allowed us to contract them to pick up students and bring them to school and take them home. And again, this saved many, many thousands of miles of driving, as well as energy and reducing the pollution in the area. Okay, then we have the instruction there at the campus. Now, what we started out with was my program there, and that is just a alternative fuels program initially, and student transportation. Well, this program, funded by the Department of Energy, worked very, very efficiently and effectively, and then we branched off from it. Whoops. There, I did it. We branched off of it. Let me see if I can get this, the right button here. Into automotive alternative fuels course. We had a new instructor that came on board, and he had a tremendous background in fuel cell technology and also with electric car motivation. And I had the background in biodiesel and alcohol field. So we combined our resources together and actually found courses listed in the Wickham catalog, and we started offering those courses there under the Shelby High Performance Program. And with that name Shelby on it, it really helped us promote it. But more importantly, Mr. Shelby himself became interested in the program, and they are now in some of his plants building race engines using alternative fuels in it. So we are very pleased with the results, and some of the technicians that are graduating from his course probably will be working on those automobiles in the future. We have the solar installer courses there. I teach both those courses in solar electric and also into solar hot water or thermal. And as a result, we bring electricians in. We've ran through many master and journeyman electricians and have them certified with the course. And to this date, I don't believe any of them have been certified through NABCEP to do this, because as electricians, they don't need that certification. Texas has a provision under the electrician licensing where they, with the 40 hours of instruction, can declare themselves as electricians installer here. So as a result, they are using that and can install and sign off for tax rebate and grants the services of installing photoelectric cells in the area. The couple of companies have already underwent training of their personnel for air conditioning and heating, and they have added to their particular installations solar hot water. question is asked, how many have we seen installed in the area? Very few, I'm sorry to say, mainly because it's just so new to the people in the area, and they have still got, quotation mark, a mentality of the, I think, 80s, in which they say, well, we can just throw something together or put a kit together and it will work. They just don't understand how far advanced we have arrived with the solar technology, and how the regulations and the safety codes in it make it so much different than it was in those days. And then we have our sustainable agriculture program, which is teaching people how to raise specialty crops and to do so in a sustainable manner. And for example, 20% of your acreage on a farm, if used to grow energy crops, will supply all of the energy needs you need for the farm. Well, lo and behold, a little statistical comparison, that same 20% was the exact amount of production acreage that you would set aside to raise horses on back in the early days of pioneer days of this country. So nothing has really changed. It's just what we do and the type of equipment we use. Here's our LEEDS award that we received on the agricultural complex. And it was not without a great deal of work and effort and cost. And so anyone taking on a project towards getting a LEEDS award needs to be very focused and willing to put the effort and the expense towards it. The building itself is called the Elizabeth Wylie Agricultural Complex, and she was a major donor to the building, as well as it was a $2 million bond issue that the college district approved. And then we had funds from SECO for the installation of the solar, and then of course the programming that we do use in the alternative field came from the Department of Energy. So we had a great deal of investment of many organizations and people to accomplish the particular program. I'm going to show you just a kind of a hodgepodge of pictures, and then I'm going to try to just explain some of the features that we have instituted here for the students. Up here, the parking lot has several features that make it very energy efficient. It will allow permutation of rain through it, so that you do not have to worry about having the water runoff that you would normally have from a normal parking lot. And you get a little bit of mud from your feet, but we were careful at the front door to put a built-in chute scraping unit there, and that prevents you from carrying all the debris in there. The lights themselves are very efficient. They're shut off on a timer switch, so that we do not waste electricity with that particular unit. Down here's a classroom. All our classrooms are dual purpose. They're like, one's a computer lab and classroom. The other one is a laboratory, soils lab, or animal lab and classroom. That's what this one is that you're seeing here of our group of students. And you can see they vary in age, because these people are all local. They're coming in to be trained on how to set up their own specialty crops production and or direct marketing program. And then outside of the ag building is a big pavilion in which we can have our open air classes, which again is a tremendous energy saving, and you can't believe the induction lights, how little power it takes to run them. We have natural lighting in the building. It's extensive. We do have filtering on the lights. We use energy-saving fluorescent type lights in there. And we have shade trellises out here, which, by the way, we haven't got the building landscaped yet. We're still working on that. These trellises will grow vines on it to shade during the summer months the windows, so we don't have excessive energy coming in. These are the high efficient induction lighting that appears in the pavilion. Our Mechanical room with our air handling system is all glassed in, so you can see how everything works in the building. Now, here's probably one of the more amazing parts. You see up here we have heat pumps. Well, why didn't we do something more energy efficient? How could you get a platinum on that? Well, we can thank the solar system that we have there that allows us to use this very conventional, so the conditions in that building are very normal to what a regular classroom would have. But everything is monitored very carefully through the building through a computerized system, so that there is no wastage at any time in the building of the energy we're using. Even the commodes are energy efficient. You have an up and down handle. The kids love it when they come through, when we take tours in there, because one is the big flush, one is the little flush. And sometimes there's a mix-up on that. We have our own well, and again, powered by our own solar power. And then we have a rainwater retention system. The water comes off the roof of the building into this little pond, and when that fills up, it will be going down into a pool or a big pond, and then that big pond will irrigate all of the demonstration gardens that in the campus. Here we are in one of the demonstration garden areas. This is a mulch laying unit, and it also lays trickle irrigation tube, which only uses a tenth of the water to grow the crop that a normal irrigation system would use. Here's the inverter before it was put into the building. The power from the solar cells come into this unit here, DC current, and then it is converted into AC, and then it goes directly into the system. Here we are installing the solar arrays out here, and here's the arrays as they're gathering energy. They do not move or tilt with the sun, but they are stationary arrays. And we produce roughly 85,000 kW there, and we use that energy coming in at 485 volts DC, which would just absolutely charcoal anything that touched the connections on it. And it comes in and it's converted into three-phase 212 volt current, AC current. Then. Here's the wind charger that we have. Now this was donated by the local power company there, and this unit produces 2.5 kilowatts, and it goes up in 60 feet into the air. It's more to demonstrate that we don't have enough wind to actually produce it. People wouldn't believe that. So I have the unit in my office, and I read the data on it. Unfortunately, it's not one of the things that we have on the web like we do the solar. And the people come in there and they're just gung-ho on wind, and it's not feasible in our area at all. And this is the way we try to show them so they don't get themselves doing something that shouldn't. Here we are with our programs out under the pavilion out here, and of course, everything at our school is with food. We love it. Here are some pictures repeating. This is our compost tea maker. We use that. This is the biodiesel processor. This is one of the training courses with the inverters and the electrical units. Here's one of my classes out here. And this is the portable chicken coop. This is a crop of sunflower seeds. And this is for biodiesel production. And this is a trickle irrigation system showing you the different things that we teach the students. Hopefully, you can see that we're on the green bandwagon at Northeast Texas Community College. Our job is to provide training. We offer it to consumers, to workforce individuals, and then our program accredited with energy conservation as academic. So it's part of their biology training. And if you have any questions or want to contact me, I have some information right there.
Thank you. based on it. So, Pam Daniel is with the Sustainable Communities Institute, or the Institute for Sustainable Communities. I'm very interested to hear this conversation. We're very interested to teach with our economic development group and the group that puts on this Rural Career Conference to learn more about what you're doing. And just as a sidebar, the Cedar Valley College was a member of the original TREC consortium, and so that's how we became very familiar with them, and we're able to get Pam to speak with us today.
Thank you for inviting me. All right, here we go. Let's see here. All right, just tell you a little bit about Cedar Valley and get started there. We are part of the Dallas County Community College District, 7 colleges. And we're located in the southern sector. We're on 300 acres, have a beautiful campus with a 17-acre lake, and we do take advantage of that. The district was formed in 1965 and our college in 77, so we're one of the older colleges of the district. We use our lake, we take advantage of that, and we irrigate 75% of all of our landscape with the reclaimed water in our lake. We're also a certified natural habitat with the National Wildlife Federation. Did that a couple years ago. This is kind of just a profile from 2011. Our head count, almost 7,000 students, primary female. And look at our age. Our average age is 28. That has been rising every year. That just kind of indicates the climate of our economic. A lot of folks are coming back for retraining now. Our breakdown of our race and ethnicity, which is very reflective of the community that they serve and that we train in the workforce. This is kind of an org chart, if you will, of our sustainable communities. This was developed in 2004. We continue to revise it, but this kind of gives you a reflection of the areas of focus. So we try to do a very well-rounded, sustainable focus. We've got everything from our green campus and what we're doing with our student, staff, and faculty as far as awareness, recycling, our green jobs and workforce, which we'll talk about in a little bit, our outreach within the community, working with our chambers and our local cities to try to become sustainable communities. Our sustainability across the curriculum, we have a program now in which the faculty can either take a class online or in person and learn how to incorporate sustainability into their curriculum. They identify what course they're teaching, and then we are recognizing that on our course catalog. We have careers in energy efficiency. I'll talk a little bit about that. And then our partnerships with the industry and the workforce that's in our community, trying to bridge our students to the jobs. So I'm just going to go through a few of the projects that we've done here in the last couple of years in green job training. This one came about from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. We were given $600,000 grant funding through the Dallas County Local Workforce Development to develop green job training. So we did that, and we developed 3 courses: commercial energy auditing, weatherization, and retrofitting. You can see the hours for those courses. 125 students participated in that program, and these students came from either formerly incarcerated or homeless. So we tried to find folks that truly needed the training on these jobs. We had a 60% success rate in that students, 60% that graduated are now working for the city of Dallas. And our certificates upon completion, 16,800 hours of green job training. So this was really a successful program with the city of Dallas. Then, just last year also, EPA, as you know, passed the law in April of 2 years ago, that required training in the lead-based renovation field. So we partnered with the Workforce Solutions of Greater Dallas to secure statewide funding, which we got, so that we could provide free training to contractors. And we were the first in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to do that training free of charge. Trained 425 folks, 8-hour course, and all participants successfully passed the EPA renovator training exam. So we were pretty pleased with that as well. And we're continuing to provide that course. So when we developed those 3 courses for the city of Dallas through that grant, we have just continued to provide those courses through our continuing education and workforce. So we have the commercial energy audit, the regularization, as you can see, and the commercial retrofitting. So we continue to offer those courses on a regular basis. We also have a credit program that we've had in place. Oh, I don't think I have the year on there for, gosh, we're probably on our 5th or 6th year. This is an associate degree program. The first one we started with is the Residential Building Performance Technology program. And it, again, you can go through the entire program for an associate degree, but there's also 2 lower levels, a specialist certificate and a rater certificate, one at 1 year, one at, I believe, 18 months. This is a program that trains folks to be energy auditors, to be able to go in and audit a home for energy efficiency, to be able to use the rater programs such as HERS and all the other different residential certificate programs. And this one's been very successful. It is basically an online course, so we have students enrolled locally and all over the United States. They are working on hybridizing the program. There's only a couple of courses that you have to come on campus, but they see a need to have more participation on campus, or either to have participation with a local business. So we're working on that. Then we also introduced the Commercial Building Performance Technology program just this year. It's basically the same type of program, same focus, but it's with commercial. And that's also online, and that has just gotten started. Again, an associate degree, or there are 2 other levels below that. So our commitment to sustainability started some time ago. In 2006, we were one of the first campuses that joined the American College and University President's Climate Commitment. Are y'all a member of that? Are you not sure? It's just a voluntary commitment to reduce carbon emissions. Your goal is to reduce emissions to 0 at some point. That's going to be very difficult for us because we are a commuter college. You know, we don't live on campus, so we're driving. That's our biggest carbon emission, is just driving to campus. But through doing that, you're committed to doing a greenhouse gas report every other year, carbon footprint, if you will. We have to measure our greenhouse gas from estimating from the driving to the campus, as well as our electrical and gas production. It is it's a spreadsheet. It's about 3 miles long, but we've done it, and we found some interesting results because, again, our #1 carbon emission is just driving. We do not have rail that comes to our campus, and probably won't for many, many years. We do have a bus, but there's just not many other options. We do have rideshare programs, but they're not highly participated in. But we did, our first greenhouse gas was in 2006, and the last one we did was for the year of 2009. And we found a couple of things that were really interesting. One, our building square footage increased 46% because we added 2 new buildings, but those were energy efficient buildings. One is LEED certified gold, the other one was just built with energy efficient strategies. So we increased our square footage 46%, but our net greenhouse gas emissions decreased by 25%. So we were very pleased to see those results. The primary reason we think is because when we have added new square footage, it is energy efficient. And then the rest of our campus, which 1977, we have been retrofitting for years, replacing windows, doing many of the things you mentioned, the lighting retrofits, water retrofits. So we have been real pleased with those results, and we're continuing to work on that. And again, a lot of our, we're going to a lot of distant learning classes. I mean, that's the way it is. With our average age of 28, it's a workforce or is out there working. It's not always practical to come onto campus to take those courses. So a lot of our courses have migrated to distance learning, which means less people are driving on campus producing those emissions. So we've done several things. Doesn't want to. Yeah.
Focus down this direction.
To the projector. It's frozen. I think I have another one there. Yeah, I have. Was that on the last one? Oh, yes, it was. Let's get through one. Okay, that was on the last one. No wonder it wouldn't change.
Yeah, so you mentioned that, you're the oldest campus, but this is one obviously one of your newer buildings, correct?
Yes, so this is our new Science Vet Tech building that LEED Gold. That was completed 2 years ago. We also built the Industrial Tech building that we decided not to go the LEED route, but we did build it with the same energy efficient features. And it houses our automotive department and our residential building program. We are also going to complete our energy lab, which we're real excited about, in the Industrial Tech building. We've partnered with Texas A&M to help us put this energy lab together, and what that will do is, is provide a model for students to practice what they're learning, to understand building commissioning. So this energy lab will be tied into the actual building, the HVAC. It will be tied into a wind and a solar, solar tree and a wind generator. It will also be tied in or allowed to, because these students are learning about building energy efficiency using tools such as blower door tools. So all of this will be able to be tied together with this energy lab, so they will actually be able to monitor the building, and the efficiencies that are put in place will be able to see how to do that. It will be able to run a lot of the high-end software programs such as the HERS Home Energy Rating Program. So we should have that finished this year, so we're very excited about that. I'll whiz through that really quickly. Are there any questions? On your table, I left a few little postcards. This is just a mail out we're about to do to help send out to our community to try to encourage folks in considering green careers. Because it's where things are going, and it's part of our education efforts or to educate the community on what options there are in green jobs. We're also working on a conference this August, Green Jobs Conference. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to call it, but the focus of that conference will be to bring our employers together with our students or folks looking for jobs and bring those two together. It will be a 2-day conference, so hopefully there'll be more out there about that soon. But any questions?
Questions? Eagerly hold them on. All right, write them down if you have any at the end. We'll be happy to take those. Great news, I just found out there's 15 minutes after this session, so we're not back into another session right away. Congratulations. Congratulations. So Abigail, that means that with you coming up, you're not going to be quite hard pressed, but obviously we'll want to keep moving forward. I can say that TEEX became very interested in this renewable energy green movement about 4 or 5 years ago. When I joined TEEX, this was an area that I was really focusing on for the agency. One of the individuals that I had the opportunity to listen to was Maria Richards at SMU at a few different conferences talking about geothermal. Was able to foster that relationship, and when we talk about the Green Workforce program that we're going to have at this conference, she really was high compliments of Abigail Smith as the outreach graduate of education at the Wylie School of Education. So we're going to let her come and talk about the great things that they're doing at Southern Methodist University.
Well, like he said, I am with the Wylie School of Engineering, but one of the things that I want to do today is kind of give you an overview of who SMU is, because we are a large college founded in 1911 that is in the center and the heart of Dallas community. So we're a landlocked university, and we have a lot of those issues that that we're dealing with. This is actually a beautiful green campus, as you can see. And one of the great things about it is when we do have to build new buildings, we try to retain all of the trees and greenery that we can to keep that lovely campus green, beautiful, and inviting to our students. SMU is 11,000, just as an overview, SMU is 11,000 students. We are roughly the exact same size as Notre Dame. People often think that we are much larger. So 11,000 students, that incorporates our law school, undergrad, graduate programs, and so forth. This is actually a picture of Caruth, which is our newest engineering building. And I want to talk a little bit about our engineering school here. Our engineering school has, all 3 of our buildings are LEED certified. We have no older facilities. What we did is, when we tore down, we kept as many of the resources and we reused them. There's actually 2 walls in this building that are made of the old bricks from our initial building, so it's kind of cool to keep that heritage going. But our first building that we had was Embry, and we did that gold. The only reason we couldn't get platinum is because we are such an older university, we're on the STEAM system, and if you have a STEAM system, regardless of points, you can never be platinum. This building, again, is gold, and then we had a third engineering, Junkins, that we went back through and had rated, and it rated gold as well. Since this time, we've also added new buildings and retrofitted, and we now have 16 LEED buildings that are certified, and we're on an initiative to retrofit every building on our campus. So it's something that we've truly bought into on every level. Teaching green. This panel was really interested in learning about what are we doing to educate the future workforce. And at SMU, because we are a 4-year college, we actually have environmental studies both at the undergrad 4-year level and at the graduate level, as well as PhD studies in all of these divisions. We have an environmental science program which allows a student to choose an emphasis between biology, chemistry, and neurosciences. And then we also have environmental and civil engineering. It focuses on your standard planning, air quality, pollution control, and environmental health. We have, like I said, undergrad, 4-year, I can talk really, Bachelor of Science in either of those, as well as Master's and PhD. Our newest degree, though, kind of incorporates a little bit different approach in that it is actually in the School of Engineering, but is a Master's of Arts. And we chose to make it a Master's of Arts because we really wanted a global perspective in the classes. We wanted business leaders, we wanted engineers, we wanted sustainability experts. We have people from pretty much every discipline you can imagine in this program right now. We launched it actually in a certificate level program, and it was a 3-course certificate, and then we did another 3-course certificate for an intermediate and an advanced certificate. And then last year, we rolled that in and we actually made it a full-fledged degree plan. It's comprised of 10 courses, and as you can see, it's core requirements, and then there's a concentration in either environmental resources or urban development and design. Environmental resources, primarily water, is what we're seeing. And then 3 of the hours would be in another. And what makes this a unique program for the state of Texas is there's a mandatory master's thesis or praxis. So they're actually having to present a full-fledged thesis or praxis project. Now, we have traditional on-campus, obviously, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday education in the evenings. But one of the unique features of the Wylie School of Engineering that people don't know often is that we've been actually offering distance education since 1968. We were the first school with Dante's. And by that, we started with microwave transmission, and then we moved into satellite videotape, DVD, and now we do streaming media. Every classroom in our engineering school is a full-blown TV studio. So every lecture taught on campus is recorded. Every lecture taught on campus in the engineering school is recorded and offered at a distance, which makes it a little unique. A lot of people have come up with like a commoditized online program, and we've done that in addition to offering a lecture. So we're not only educating the immediate Dallas-Fort Worth area, but we're seeing people all across Texas in those remote areas attending our classes to be educated in the sustainability principles that we believe in. this is really cool. Right now on the SMU campus, we're doing Engineering and Humanity Week. Engineering and Humanity Week came from the Institute of Engineering and Humanity, which is a Stephanie and Hunter Hunt initiative. They actually donated some money and resources to start this institute that deals with problems of the global poor, deals with water scarcity, deals with housing, both with the United Nations and even just emergency shelter here in the United States. So this picture, you're probably, I don't know if you can actually tell what this is. This is plastic bags. All those lovely little plastic bags. And they bunch them together and they put them on this frame, and that is a short to a medium term housing solution. So it's not just refugee houses. This is something that someone could live in for months. So that's kind of cool. Some of the other housing structures that we've seen, let me think here. Oh, the really cool one, this is my favorite one. We actually take long tubes that are somewhat, they're polypropylene, but you fill them with sand. Because think about, where are you going to need housing and shelter? Desert climate areas. So you fill it with what you have. So you fill it with sand, so there are long tubes, and you basically, as I'm doing a little dance up here, you encircle yourself in it, and you build it up. And that again is medium to long-term housing. That could actually last for up to, I believe they said 18 months for somebody to actually live in that before they had to maybe replace some of those bags from the sand and the wind damage. Pallet houses, where people have taken pallets and built full-fledged houses out of that, something you could ship very easily. And then of course exploring new technologies in water purification. SMU also has a field of beams. Isn't that so? I know it's cheeky, I don't care. It's a 68 panel solar array. Ours generates about 15,000 to 18,000 kilowatt hours of electricity and can power up to 336 laptops for 8 hours. The cool thing about this is, if you can tell by this panel here, you can actually watch it work, and it's actually a working prototype that our students interact with so that they can explore this particular technology. And then, of course, you referenced SMU's geothermal energy research, which is premier in the nation. I think actually in the world, to be honest with you. We have a partnership with Google.org, so you can actually go to Google.org and you can see where all the geothermal activity is in the United States. Actually today, we have the capability to replace all of our coal power plants with this energy source. Every one of them. And then again, here's Dr. Quicksall, who's over our MA in Sustainability, and they're taking water samples at the United Nations Refugee Camp in Africa. He actually makes 3 to 5 trips a year with students to let them actually work on this. And that's all I have. Was that quick enough for you?
That's very good.